What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? As we look forward to the wildcard matchup between the Raiders and the Houston Texans, people are wondering what's going to happen now that Brock Osweiler has been named the starting QB above Tom Savage, even though I believe that he will pass concussion protocol before Saturday's wildcard game. And the question has been asked to me by a lot of diehard Raiders fans. What do you think, Gmia? Do you think that Brock Osweiler is capable of defeating the Raiders, Khalil Mack's Raiders? And the answer is no. I'm going to tell you why. The Texans, I'm not taking anything away from the Texans. The Texans defensively and everything that they've been able to do without J.J. Watt this year with an inept quarterback has been unbelievable. Let me just say that first, because Brock Osweiler has been anything but good. And I don't. He had some games where he was okay, and he did some things that you could say, all right, he's worth that huge contract that he was able, that he signed in the offseason, whatever. It's no way. You can be in denial. You can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. This man is not the answer for the Houston Texans. Okay, and it's just not going to work out for him there. It's not like Tom Savage came in. I don't think he threw any touchdowns, but he just did what was necessary to keep the team in the game. I do think that the Texans defense will be a problem for Connor Cook with the Raiders because, he's him being a rookie, being thrown into the fire. The other guy has a trapezius. Look, guys get hurt, and other people have to step up, and that's why you go out every day and practice to prepare. But the question is, do I see any way possible that the Texans can beat the Raiders? I just don't see it because Bruce Irvin and Khalil Mack are going to make it very, very difficult for either the running game or the passing game to get started for the Texans. And once you get Brock Osweiler, uncomfortable, which he always is, the look on his face, he's always uncomfortable. And these boys are no joke. I can see Khalil Mack having at least 3 sacks this game. You know what I'm saying? Look, the bottom line is this. Derek Carr is not there. This is why this is even a thing. Because Derek Carr is the heart and soul of the Raiders. And, if I were a Raiders fan, I would be, I wouldn't be delusional. I would know that my team is not going to do anything like, go to the Super Bowl and nothing like that. That's not going to happen. Okay? Derek Carr, that was possible. He's not there. It's not going to happen. But they can still win some football games. They can still do that. And I can see them taking care of business with the Texans because let's just face it. We're looking at a situation where we know what Brock Osweiler is going to do. We've watched him all season. The man was benched for a guy named Tom Savage, bro. When you get benched and you're the guy that signed that huge contract, just look at history. Whenever a team decides to bench a guy that they bring in that they paid a lot of money, that person that was benched doesn't usually come in and perform because number one, his confidence is already shattered. They don't believe in him. It's very simple. I can sit here and I can say what I feel about what I've seen visibly, but when the coach of the team says, look, go sit down over there and get a notepad. When that happens, that's not good for the quarterback psyche. So him now being thrown back into it, he already knows that his future doesn't look too well for the Texans. Brock Osweiler already at this point understands that his stay there is probably going to come to a very, very abrupt end. So he's probably going to be playing for his future, but he's not good enough to make plays that's going to be needed to beat the Raiders. And I'm letting you guys look. Derek Carr, he was unbelievable. He made some miraculous plays. He kept these guys in games. He did a lot of things for the Raiders to help them to be where they are right now and be playoff bound. But the defense did some things as well. And the defense is really, really overlooked in most cases. Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvin, these boys, Emerson, these guys are overlooked for some reason. And I don't understand why. All they do is go out there and harass the quarterback like almost any time it's a passing down. Check the numbers. The Raiders are in the backfield immediately. They have a lot of speed. They have a lot of talent on this team. And I just think that when you have a quarterback like Brock Osweiler, where you know that he's not going to make the best decisions, he kind of reminds me of Jay Cutler. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can start off well. You got a big arm. The guy has a big arm. He has all the attributes. He just doesn't make the right play. And it's not a knock on the Texans because I'm very impressed that the Texans were able to sustain themselves without the defensive leader in J.J. Watt. Because you got to remember, J.J. Watt being the defensive player of the year and them not winning a lot in the past years still kept them in a lot of games and still kept that team afloat. They were able to do that despite losing him, for the entire season pretty much. So I can't knock them for them being able to sustain themselves enough to be where they are now. So I'm not just saying they're total trash overall. I'm saying that a key component, because if you have a quarterback that can throw the ball to Will Fuller, to DeAndre Hopkins, that has any common sense, and look, I'm not saying that Brock Osweiler doesn't try, that he's not attempting to make the right plays. I'm telling you that what I've seen visibly from him throughout the year, he's not the answer for the Texans. He doesn't make the right plays. I'm telling you right now, you put Aaron Rodgers behind that line, even though the line is not too good or whatever like that. I don't think the line in Green Bay is all that good either, but they do a decent job. You put any quarterback that's halfway decent behind, just on the Texans, with DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, and them boys out there doing what they got to do, good running game. We're not saying this. We're not talking about the Texans losing this game. I'm putting this all on Brock Osweiler's shoulders. Even if Tom Savage is able to clear concussion protocol and he's available to play, I think by starting Osweiler, that's already a mistake. Because if you wait, you could possibly wait. Even though I know they say sometimes, let the quarterback know. Don't keep them thinking that they're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of different things. It's just better for everybody to know what's going on for practice and everything like that. Tom Savage would possibly be able to do enough to keep them within the game. But even him, it's a possibility he won't last the game. Because these boys, these Raiders, bro, they're going to be in that backfield. Somebody's getting hurt. Somebody about to get hurt this game. And for the most part, I think the Raiders will do enough with their run game and mixing up plays to protect Connor Cook. I think that Brock Osweiler is a guy that may not last this entire game. Because they already know, these players know who they're going up against. They don't respect Brock Osweiler. If they were playing against Tom Brady, it's a different thing. They know, all right, look, we got 1.2 seconds. The dude's getting the ball out of his hands quick. You know what I'm saying? With Osweiler, his read is usually to the defense. So all they're thinking right now, as they put together their game plan, different schemes, zone blitzes, fake rushing. I've seen many times throughout the year where Khalil Mack will fake rush, drop into coverage. They're going to manipulate this guy and make this guy make a lot of mistakes. And I know that, look, guys, do me a favor, guys and girls, Texans, hashtag Raiders, leave it in the comments. And then we can discuss it however you want. I'm not saying that there's no chance. I'm just telling you that there's a high possibility that Brock Osweiler doesn't even make it out of this game without being injured. Because there's going to come times in this game where you have to pass the ball. And I know that Bill O'Brien doesn't want him to, because usually he's been atrocious. But it doesn't make sense for anyone to sit up here and say that the Texans have a real shot of beating the Raiders just because Derek Carr isn't playing. I don't think they need Derek Carr to beat the Texans. I don't think so. Because I think they have enough defensively to completely shut down. And I'm not saying that DeAndre Hopkins ain't a dog, as they say in New Orleans. I'm not saying that he's not raw. I'm saying that the quarterback that delivers the ball can't do it efficiently enough for him to get going and for him to get, for him to be a steady, a steady receiver in this game. I think, look, I can envision Brock Osweiler throwing at least 2 interceptions before he's benched. Tom Savage is able to play the game. Because he's going to have to be benched at some point in this game. It's no way he's going to be out there for the entire game. I just feel that he's going to be benched. The Raiders will not win after this. I'm sorry to let you Raiders fans know. I know you guys are doing hashtag believe and stuff like that. Without Derek Carr, you guys are not doing it. This will be the only Raider win in the playoffs. That's what my opinion is about the game. I want to know what you guys think about it. Because I've been looking at numerous articles, reading the different things and trying to figure out, why would anybody in their right mind pick the Texans? And the number one reason was defensively, they'll probably be able to shake up Connor Cook. But I think the Raiders are going to game plan enough of that to protect that rookie QB. And their defense will overtake a more, a worse quarterback in Brock Osweiler. Even though, I can't really say that he's not better than Connor, obviously, because we haven't seen a lot from Connor. I can tell you this much. We know exactly what we're going to get from Osweiler. We don't know Connor yet. We got to see him a little bit last week. We don't know exactly what we're going to get this week. But I do believe that he will give the Raiders enough to beat the Texans. I have them beating the Texans pretty comfortably, maybe 10 points. Let me know what you're thinking. #Texans, #Raiders. I'll see you next time. One love.